to the unapologetic truth, the channel where we speak the truth and don't apologize for it. Why? Because the truth never apologizes. All right, now this is part 2 of the flat earth, right? Part 1, if you haven't watched part 1, you should go down, and check out part 1. But part 2, we're going to get into all the ancient civilizations that knew the earth was flat, right? Okay. A lot of people have been asking me, why does this matter, and this, and why does that matter? It matters because lies will never prevail. It matters because I don't want to live somewhere where I thought something was when it really wasn't. Okay? So, now, the Babylonians, they knew the earth was flat. They knew, right? So, if you could check this out right here, this is a Babylonian map. As you can see, the map is flat. Now let's get a little brief history of this map. History's earliest known world map was scratched on clay tablets in the ancient city of Babylon sometime around 600 BC. The star-shaped map measures just 5 by 3 inches and shows the world as a flat disc, which means it's flat and it's a circle, which goes back to the scriptures, right? Now, let's get this right quick. We're going to come back to that. Let's get this right quick. Sorry about that, guys. Little malfunction, but we gonna fix it. Alright, so now let's get it. Alright, here we go. Now, this right here is Isaiah chapter 40 verse 22. It is he that he is the most high, Yah or Yahweh, that sitteth upon the circles of the earth. Now let's read that again. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. He didn't say the sphere of the earth. He said the circles of the earth, right? And how we know that the earth is flat is because if the earth was a sphere, then the sky has to be a sphere also, which surrounds the earth. Because remember, if you look at a globe, right? If you look at the globe model, you have bodies of water on top, you have bodies of water on the sides, and you have bodies of water on the bottom of the globe model. So you're saying that if we go to the bottom of the globe, of the sphere, and there's no sky, like that makes no sense. So you're saying we go to the side of the globe, of the sphere, and there's no sky. So if the earth is a sphere, then the sky is a sphere also, which surrounds the earth. Right? Okay, so now, let's find out what else this says. And the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. So, The heavens is stretched out as a curtain. Is a curtain a sphere, or is a curtain flat when you stretch it out? So the sky is flat. So if the sky is flat, then the earth has to be flat. Because there is no way you're going to have a flat sky and a globe model earth. Because there will be no sky at the bottom of the globe. Let me show you, let me show you what I'm talking about. Now this is the globe model, right? This is Earth, right? Now you have bodies of water at the bottom. Then you also have portions of a continent at the bottom. So you telling me there's a sky up here, but there's no sky here, there's no sky here, and there's no sky here. Come on, man. It's not adding up and it does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. Alright, so now we know that the Bible is a historical document, proven historical document by who? Now we know that scientists, they don't believe in the Bible. This is why they try to make up lies to discredit the Bible. But we have archaeologists who prove the Bible as fact, not fiction, not just stories, but factual, by digging up the earth and just reading the stories, following the clues of where these places are, and they dig up these places from the earth. Right? So now, let's get back to the task at hand. Right? Now, let's get back to this one. Okay. Now, so it says the star-shaped map measures 5 by 3 inches and shows the world as a flat disk surrounded by an ocean or bitter river. Babylon and the Euphrates River are depicted in the center as a pair of rectangles, while the neighboring cities of Assyria and Susa are shown as small circular blobs. Right? So now we know the Babylonians knew that the earth is flat. Right? Let's go down here. This is Ptolemy. I know, well, not Ptolemy, excuse me. This is Ptolemy. The P is silent. This is Ptolemy's geography. Right? As we can see, his geography depicts the earth as flat and disc-like, circle-like. We know that circle and sphere is a different thing. Circle is flat, right? A sphere is 3D and is solid. Okay. Many elements of science of cartography can trace their origins to the works of the Greek scholar Claudius Ptolemaeus, my bad, better known as Ptolemy. Around 150 AD, he produced geography. He produced geography, an 8-volume textbook that includes some of the first maps to use mathematical principles. He used mathematical principles. Listen to what he's saying. Let me read this over again. Around 150 AD, he produced geography. So this is the guy that produced geography. And an 8-volume textbook that includes some of the first maps to use mathematical principles. So he used mathematical principles to show that the earth was flat. Ptolemy's book has a few notable errors, okay? The Indian Ocean, for example, is depicted as a sea, yet it is still remarkable for its breadth and detail. Okay, so Indian Ocean is a sea. It's not really an ocean. if you understand what the ocean, the difference between the ocean and the sea, it really is a sea, right? But, and it says, it boasts more than 8,000 different places, names, as well as references such as far-flung locals as Iceland and Korea, all which are plotted according to geometric points of latitude and longitude. Right? Sadly, no maps drawn by Ptolemy have survived today. I wonder why. You had a lot of other stuff survive to today. I mean, you put it in museums, you know what I'm saying, made sure it doesn't rot, you made sure, but why his maps didn't survive to today? I wonder why. His atlas seems to have disappeared for over 1,000 years. And it wasn't until the 13th century that the Byzantine scholars began making projections using his coordinates. So even the Byzantine scholars, these are scholars, began making projections using his coordinates. If they didn't feel like his coordinates was accurate, they wouldn't be using his coordinates. These are scholars, remember that. All right, let's go down. Now, the Puninger Map, as you can see, the Puninger Map, or Puninger Map, depicts the Earth as flat. Right? Now, during the days when all roads lead to Rome, the so-called Puninger Map would have served as a handy guide to the empire's transportation network. So they used this flat Earth map as a transportation network, right? The oddly shaped map is 22 feet long and just 1 foot wide, and it depicts the course of more than 60,000 miles of Roman roads stretching from Western Europe to the Middle East. An additional section also shows India, Sri Lanka, and the parts of Asia. Come on now, let's get more. Much like a modern travel guide, the map includes the location of more than 500 cities, along with some 3,500 other points of interest, such as stations, temples, forests, rivers, even spas. The original Puninger map was probably completed sometime around the 4th century AD. But the version that exists today is a 13th century copy. It is named for the German scholar Konrad Puninger, who took ownership of it in early 1500s. Now these are all ancient civilizations now. And every last one of them use these type of maps that shows the earth was flat. Let's look at the Tabula Rasa. There we go. The Tabula Rasa. In the 12th century AD, look at this map. Flat and a disc. Right? Flat and a disc. Alright. In the 12th century AD, the renowned Muslim scholar Al-Idrisi was invited to the court of the Norman king Roger II and asked to produce a book on geography. So he was asked by a king to produce a book on geography. The result was the Tabula Rasa, also known by its longer title, A Guide to the Pleasant Journey into Faraway Lands. The book featured several regional maps as well as projections of the known world, which depicted the entirety of Eurasia and a large section of Africa. By drawing from interviews with travelers and his own wanderings through Europe, Al-Idrisi also compiled extensive data on the climate, politics, culture of different regions. The Tabula Rasa remained among the world's most accurate maps for several centuries, but it may appear strange at first glance. In the tradition of Islamic cartographers, Al-Idrisi drew it with south position at the top. So, you heard what it said. It said that the Tabula Rasa remained among the world's most accurate maps for several centuries. This map right here, which is a flat surface circle, a circle flat surface, right? Let's get more. Now we get into like the Chinese. It's going to get deep, right? The Da Ming Hun Yi 2, and as you can see, the Da Ming Hun Yi 2 map is flat. It's not a sphere. One of the earliest surviving world maps from the Far East, China's Da Ming Hun Yi 2, or amalgamated map of the Ming Empire. So this is from the Ming Empire. Was drawn on silk as early as 1389. The map spans the entire Eurasian continent from Japan to the Atlantic Ocean and includes detailed markings of mountain ranges, rivers, and administrative centers. It is particularly notable for the way in which it distorts the size of various land masses. Mainland China sits like a monolith in the middle of the map. Of course, they're going to try to make their country or continent look bigger than others, just like America. America trying to make, well, just like North America and South America trying to make their continent look bigger than the African continent, which we know that the African continent is the biggest continent on Earth, period. So you have some discrepancies there. But the main focus is that the map is accurate and it shows that it's a flat surface, not a sphere. Right? Mainland China sits like a monolith in the middle of the map, while Japan and Korea are both far larger than India, which we know India is far larger than both. The African continent, meanwhile, is depicted as a relatively small peninsula, right? But we already know that the African continent is the largest continent on the planet, on Earth, basically. Right? With what appears to be a giant lake in its center. Despite these peculiarities, the Da Ming Hun Yi 2 is often cited as the first map to show Africa with a southern tip that could be circumvented. Right? Now let's get here. The Catino Planisphere. Right? The Catino Planisphere was once at the center of an act of cartography or cartographic theft. In 1502, the Italian Duke commissioned an agent named Alberto Catino to acquire a map of the geographic discoveries of the Kingdom of Portugal, which was notorious for closely guarding the location of the new lands found by its explorers. Catino succeeded in his mission, and the map that he smuggled out of Portugal has since become famous. Not only does it depict Africa, India, and Europe in unprecedented details, It stands as one of the earliest known maps to show the coastlines of Portugal's New World territories in South America. To the north of Brazil, the map also includes a small grouping of landmasses that appear to be Cuba, Hispaniola, and part of the American East Coast. As we can see, flat, not a sphere. Okay, let's get more. The walled Simula world map, as you can see, is flat. It is flat, right? All right, now let's get more over here. As we can see, Monte Urbano Flat Earth Map, circa 1589 map. Bam. Flat Earth, flat circular Earth. Now, shapes of the world, right? As we can see, flat, flat. 150 AD, the first to use positions of latitude and longitude based on astronomical observations. Ptolemy book Geographica listed the positions of 6.345 sites and probably also include maps. Lost for centuries but rediscovered and reconstructed from the list of coordinates in the 14th century. We don't know the exact extent of the original maps, right? So we see again, Ptolemy, one of the world's most accurate map, right? 1050, right? Unknown monk. So this monk was unknown. As we can see, he depicted it as a circle and it's flat. A classic medieval map. This depicts Asia, right half, Europe, upper left, and Africa, lower left. Its main objective, however, was not explained to the world, but the Bible. More prominently than continents, it features Jerusalem and Calvary, the biblical lands, the Red Sea, Sinai, the Garden of Eden, and Paradise. So we see this monk read the scriptures, and he knew that the scriptures said that the earth was flat and circular. This is why I understand how you read the scriptures and not get that the Most High is saying that the earth is not a sphere, it is a circle and it's flat. 1154, Muhammad al-Idrisi, we already read about him, of Italy, right? Flat, right? 1375, Abraham Cresques, Mexico, Spain, right? This early chart was based on ships, logs, and is very accurate where distances and directions were well known. So this is very accurate. They used logs. You know what I mean? So these are people who actually travel the seas. All right. For areas outside the Mediterranean, the Black Sea, and parts of the North Atlantic. However, it relies on hearsay and guesswork like earlier maps. But how is it guesswork when these people are using logs and traveling? Shouldn't somebody see that there was a curvature somewhere along the way? I'm pretty sure they had more than one ship. One of the ships that lagged behind, they all wasn't side by side. One of the ships that lagged behind should have been like, wait a minute, the boat is disappearing. There should be a curvature. That's a curvature. So that means the earth is a sphere. No one logged that. 1849, Henricus Martellus, Florence, Italy. A milestone in depicting the Old World, Martellus Map used sources like Marco Polo's travel in Asia and Bartholomew Diaz's first circumnavigation of Africa. Sailors had long known to conclude latitude by the sun. This map accurately depicts the north-south extent of Africa, but not yet longitude, leading to the distorted east and west distances, right? Here we go again. Flat surface. 1592. Diego Ribeiro. 1599. Eastward right, London, England. Here we go again. Flat surface. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. All these people that traveled and that used latitude and longitude, used calculations from the sun, all this to come to the conclusion that the earth was flat. Here we go. Okay, now, let's see who changed this. What man changed that the earth was flat? From all these different people, from all these different ancient civilizations who already knew that the earth was flat, undoubtedly. Who changed this? Let's go see.
By formulating the heliocentric theory, which placed the sun at the center of the universe, Nikolas Copernicus paved the way for modern astronomy.
What happened? Trying to see what happened. I don't know what just happened. Alright, here we go again. Let's try this again.
By formulating the heliocentric theory, which placed the sun at the center of the universe, Nikolas Copernicus paved the way for modern astronomy. Copernicus was born on February 19, 1473, in Turan, Poland, into a family with German roots. Around 1491, he enrolled at the University of Krakow to study theology and medicine, but became a passionate student of mathematics and astronomy as well. 5 years later, he moved to Bologna, a university city that attracted scholars from all over Europe. In Italy, Nicolaus Copernicus worked with the famous astronomer Domenico Maria Novara de Ferrara. After graduating in law in 1503, Copernicus concentrated on astronomy, giving a number of lectures in Ferrara, Padua, and Rome. In 1505, he returned to Poland, living for a while in Heilsberg and working as a secretary and doctor for his uncle.
Now, as we can see, the map they are using is what? Flat surface. Every map that you've seen was a flat surface.
City's bishop. In 1512, he made his final move to Frauenburg. Copernicus was able to scientifically demonstrate that the center of the universe, the point around which all planets revolve, was not the Earth as people had previously believed, but the sun. The astronomer...
Now, he's saying that nothing revolves around the Earth. The Earth isn't the center of the universe. It is the sun, right? Now, this right here goes into sun worship. This is what this guy did. If you go do the research on Copernicus, you would know that his gods and stuff was the sun. He believed and worshiped the sun. So he wanted to put this out on the masses, and he figured a way how to do it. Instead of saying that the earth, which the Most High say the earth is the center of everything, this is his greatest creation, was the earth. Everything revolves around the earth. He changed it and said everything revolves around the sun. Like I said, if you do your research on Nikolas Copernicus, you would know that he was into sun worshiping. And a lot of his gods, I'm going to show you how he injected that, because he was a devout Catholic. Now, I'm going to show you how he injected sun worship into the Catholic Church after we watch this.
Astronomer described his heliocentric system in his most famous work, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, or Concerning the Revolutions of the Heavenly Orbs. He made 4 revolutionary assertions. 1. Orbits and celestial bodies do not have a single center. 2. The center of the Earth is not the center of the universe. 3. All the planets move in circular orbits around the Sun. 4. The Sun only appears to move from dawn to dusk. In reality, its movement is the effect of the Earth's rotation around its axis over a 24-hour period. These discoveries marked a true revolution with respect to the certainties that mankind had held for thousands of years about the skies overhead. The idea that the Earth and its inhabitants did not sit at the center of the cosmos was considered so powerful that it risked destabilizing society. The theories of Copernicus were slow to spread, in part because they were rejected by the Roman Catholic Church. Over the following decades, the Copernican system would become a cornerstone for the development of astronomy, thanks to contributions from thinkers like Giordano Bruno, who brought the work of Copernicus into the public eye, and Galileo Galilei, who strongly supported his theories. Nikolas Copernicus died on March 24, 1543, reportedly a few hours after having held a copy of his first edition of De Revolutionibus in his hands. He died at age 70.
Now, as you can see, it was just a theory, a thought, right? So these people took this thought and put this on the masses, right? So now let's see what is a theory. A theory is a superstition, or a system of ideas intended to explain something. So these are ideas intended to explain something, especially one based on general principles independent of the thing to be explained. Right? So it's just a theory is just a thought. It is not a fact. It is not a fact, it's just a thought. He didn't make no calculations. He didn't use no longitude or latitude. He just thought like, wow, maybe this, and that. And people took hold onto it. Right? Alright, now, let's get to why I say that he was a sun worshiper, which he was, and his gods was the sun, right? And he introduced these gods to the Catholic Church. Let's look. What is this? This is the sun. This is who the Catholic Church prays to. This is the Vatican. What it does, outlines the sun. This is a pennant from the Vatican, well, the Egyptian. Now, we knew the Egyptian was sun worshiper. This is where Copernicus got his idea from the Egyptians. This is where everyone from Europe get their ideas from. They get it from the Egyptians. Their gods, they get it from the Egyptian, right? What is this? This is the sun. This is the sun. The sun rays. This is a gold stand that the Pope needs to keep upright. The crescent moon is there, which is in the middle. Only the sun is missing. It's not, because it's right here. The crescent moon is in the middle. And this is the sun with the sun rays, right? The present Pope performs religious rituals. They perform religious rituals with this sun. As you can see, they do sun worship. They don't believe in the God of the Bible. They don't believe the things that the Bible says. They worship the sun, just like Nikolas Copernicus, who was the one who introduced sun worship into the Catholic Church. Now, I got a few more things I'm going to get to you guys, man. Because a lot of you guys seem to don't understand that the planets that you see that are in space, inside the dome, everything's inside the dome that's over the earth. All the planets that you see that's inside the dome, it's not a solid thing that you can go to. A lot of people say, oh, they went to the moon, or they went this place and they went that place, and they sent the rovers to Mars and this and that. No. It's already been proven that the Mars landscape that they show on TV came from Nevada, the Nevada desert. Same rocky formations, same red colored dirt, and all of that. It's already been proven. If you don't believe me, you can look this up yourself. But I'm going to show you that the stars is nothing but plasma. It's liquid. Plasma is a liquid type matter. It's liquid type substance. Right? So these are people who use high-powered telescopes to look at different types of planets. And they're showing you what the planets look like, what they actually look like. Not what you see on TV, not what you see in these Hollywood movies that NASA creates, not what your government tells you, but what people see with their own eyes through their high-powered telescope. Let's go. This is the first one here. This guy is in an airplane. He's getting ready to take off. As you see, he's in the airport. He's getting ready to take off. I'm gonna mute it because I don't want them to demonetize my channel. Okay. Now, as you can see, this guy put this verse from Genesis, the Bible. Everybody get things from the Bible. Even when they make movies, where do they get their ideas from? They get it from the Bible. But they tell you different things, contrary to the Bible. Like, it don't make sense, right? All right, Genesis part 1. Genesis 1 and 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. So we have to understand that we are surrounded in water. We have water on the earth, which is under the dome, and we have water that's above the dome and the outer portion of the dome and surrounding the earth. There is no outer space, deep space, and all of that. Don't believe Star Trek, because Star Trek is just nothing. It's nothing but fiction. There's water that surrounds the earth. There's the dome that protects the earth from the outer water. And then we have water that's on the earth. Right? And if you read the Bible, it tells you when the flood happens, the Most High opened the vaults of heaven so that the water can pour in. Right? So now let's go. Remember, this guy's in an airplane, so it's going well above 30-something thousand feet above the earth. That's the planet that he's going to be zooming in. This is what a planet actually looks like. As you can see, there are ripples like water going across this planet. This is what a planet actually looks like. No one's going to be able to land on this at all. No one's going to be able to land on this at all. This is what an actual planet looks like. This is nothing but plasma, a liquid type substance. He zoomed out so you know that he's not manipulating anything. So, and he zooms back in. As you can see, it looks like a bubble. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. Again, this is tell you where he recorded with, right here, where they recorded it, and what day. As you can see, it looks like water ripples going across this planet. This is why you see a planet sparkle and shine in a night light, in the night. Because planets are nothing but luminaries. Luminaries is a light. He used this for a light in the sky, for at night. This is what the Most High created these stars for. This is what an actual planet looks like. It is nothing but plasma, a liquid type substance. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. Here we go again. Different person. This is what an actual star looks like. This is what an actual planet is. You are not going to leave Earth thinking that you're going to land on one of these and walk around on a solid surface, not a solid surface. Zoomed out so that you know you're not really manipulating anything, and he's going to zoom out some more, zoom all the way out. And then he's going to zoom right back in so that you know he's not manipulating anything. And you can hear the telescope zooming in and zooming out. This is what an actual planet looks like. You hear the car in the background, so you know he's outside. Now, let's get another one. Let's get one more. Before I go, let's get one more. Let's get one more. Right? This is another star. As you can see, everybody uses this powerful camera. Right? He zoomed in. All of them are the same, just different colors. This is There's nothing that you can land on here. This is nothing but plasma. A disc-like plasma. It's not spinning. It's spinning like this. Not spinning like they say the earth is spinning. Or rotating. Now, as you see, this is Venus. Now, I want to get to something that a lot of people say. I always want to talk about, oh, but gravity this and gravity that. Gravity does not exist. Gravity exists only in thought. It's only a thought. It's only a theory. Has not been proven. It is only a theory. Now let's go check it out. Gravity, right? Now, the Newtonian theory of gravity is based on an assumed force, assumption. They're making assumptions now, acting between all pairs of bodies, i.e., an action at a distance. When a mass moves, the force acting on other masses have been considered to adjust instantaneously to the new location of the displaced mass. This from the Britannica. This is from the Britannica. Gravity, gravitational theory. It's only a theory. It's not being proven. It's not fact. It's nothing factual backing this theory. Period. So you can miss me with the gravity this and gravity that. You cannot take a theory, a thought, that's something that's not based on fact. You cannot make it fact. Period. You cannot make it true. You cannot insert this in your life or in your studies when it's not based on facts. It's only based on thought and assumptions. Period. All right, now, I appreciate everyone who's been supporting the channel. The channel is growing. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. Man, I got a lot more coming. I got a lot more information coming. Right? Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you share. But subscribe. I cannot stress this enough, man. If you love the truth, you want other people to know the truth, you want this channel to keep going, bringing more truth to you, subscribe to the channel. Share the videos. Get more people to subscribe to the channel. Comment. Most definitely leave a like, because when you leave a like, it helps the YouTube algorithm to show my videos on people's feeds. So this is the unapologetic truth. The channel where we speak the truth and don't apologize for it. Why? Because the truth will never apologize. I'm out.